How's it going, everyone? My name is DestinyElement. I hope you guys are all doing well, and we are back with another Honkai Star Rail video for today, man. So, some things that I do want to kind of go over before getting into this video. Hi, welcome to anyone that is new to my channel, that is checking out this video. So I know I've been gone for quite a while, and if you look at the videos on my channel, I've been kind of uploading, disappearing, uploading, and disappearing, and it's mostly because with Honkai Star Rail, I kind of find myself being drained playing this game, at least recently. Recently I've been kind of playing the game and then just not feeling the enthusiasm that I used to have when I used to play this game, but recently I've been getting back into it. I've been grinding, playing, catching up with story, and I've been really trying to get back into the groove of this game because I do enjoy it. I love the characters, I like the world building, I like the Honkai universe, and I like turn-based games. But something about the game the last couple months just kind of didn't really push me to play it, and it kind of made it hard for me to upload. But we're back now, and I want to try to make an effort to really push myself to upload and to find the I guess love or spark that I used to have for this game when it first came out, and I think a huge reason for that is because maybe I just feel disconnected from a little bit of the story and the characters, or maybe some of the events just aren't really entertaining to me. But I have been playing it recently, and even when I'm not uploading this game, I still do play it. I still do play the events, I still do grind it, and I still find myself kind of on autopilot. But I wanted to come back and I wanted to start uploading videos for you guys because there's going to be moments where I'm probably not as enthusiastic about this game, but I do still like it. But more importantly, I like uploading. I like uploading videos, I like editing, and I like posting my experience playing a game. And more importantly, I want to be able to build a community, with people who also enjoy the same thing as me. So we're going to be getting back into Honkai Star Rail on this channel because that's what this channel is. So I'm going to try to post some more Honkai Star Rail videos and also a couple Zenless Zone Zero videos as well too. It's probably going to be maybe one video a week depending on how I'm feeling, maybe two, but I'm going to just try to upload more, try to be a little bit more consistent, and I kind of want to be able to push content that I'm proud of. So in the meantime, if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. Let me know in the comments section what would you guys like to possibly see, when it comes to Honkai Star Rail or even Zenless Zone Zero content. And Marvel Rivals is also going to be dropping in a week, and I do want to play that, so I would probably have some clips or some gameplay from that game also uploaded to the channel. But yeah, so today we're doing a tier list. I think this is a great time to kind of get into it. We have a lot of new characters coming. There's a lot of characters that I have been using, that I summoned for, that unfortunately, looking back, I should have uploaded my summon videos for a couple of these characters, but I was kind of just summoning off camera and playing the game on my own time. But yeah, so we're gonna do a tier list. Now, for anyone that's new to this channel, this is currently my tier list. So this is currently my tier list, and this was last updated 2.1. Yeah, so it's been a while. It's been quite a while. We have a lot of new characters to update and add, and we also have a lot of characters to rearrange and move around. So I'm gonna kind of first off go into details of my tier list. Now, before you guys dislike the video and bombard me and tell me that my opinion's wrong and that that's not true and I'm crazy for having that opinion, listen, I'm just going to give my opinions on why I think each character belongs in the tier that they are in, and I'm going to try to justify it the best way that I can based off of not just my experience with the character, but also just how convenient is it to use them, how easy is it to build them, how flexible they are, longevity wise, where I think this character will be in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 updates, and also it's just at the end of the day, it is my opinion, and if you guys feel differently, if you guys also have your own opinions, I would love to hear them in the comments section. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna try to make this video as in-depth and as detailed as possible, but I'm not gonna make it too long. So this tier list is going to be for 2.7 in preparation for 2.7, because I think 2.7 is the last update that we are getting, and then we're going straight to 3.0 to our new planet that they just showed in I think it was the Myriad trailer or in the live stream. So yeah, and that's basically going to be it. I'm going to try to have some other videos coming out for Honkai Star Rail, whether it's like covering news, summon videos. Maybe I'll do some guides on characters that I summon for. I'll maybe even include like my memory of chaos clears and how I've been doing it with certain characters. But that's basically it. If you guys enjoy the video, leave a like, comment, tell me what you guys would like to see, and yeah, let's get into it. So before we get into the tier list, I feel like I have to greatly rearrange a lot of the characters on this tier list. So I have Trailblazer at the bottom right here because they don't have the art icon for like the different paths, but I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. If you are using the Destruction Trailblazer, I would probably put it in like C tier, and then if you're using the Preservation, I would probably put them in like A tier because they have a taunt and it can be pretty useful. And then if you're using the Harmony Trailblazer, I would probably put them in S tier. The reason why I wouldn't put them in double S tier is because even though they are a really strong Harmony character and they introduce Super Break, it's kind of a niche. It's only for Super Break, and we have support characters coming in 2.7 that will actually benefit Super Break and Firefly a lot more than Harmony Trailblazer. Still a great character, and I still really like their animation and their kit, and they still are a great support. But yeah, I just feel like realistically they're maybe S tier, like bottom of S tier. So who do we want to adjust first? So I think it's really important that a lot of these characters in double S tier aren't double S tier anymore. As much as I like them, there is a couple characters that do need to get knocked down a couple pegs, and the first character that comes to mind is Jingliu. So when she came out, she was insane. Like I summoned for her, I used her. She was a phenomenal character, and she still is a phenomenal character. I think the problem with Jingliu is because a lot of her damage is backloaded into her stance, I guess transmog, or her like transformation. And it's like, not only do you have to consume 2 skill points to get her into that state, for 2 turns, and then if you have your ultimate, that's an extra turn. It's just her damage in comparison to the damage dealers in double S tier, I just don't think it's worth it. I feel like you have to try really hard to put up the same numbers as a character like Acheron, and she still has a lot of flexibility, and there are more supports in the game currently, and she does have some benefits, like once she transforms and she uses her skills, like she's technically a SP positive unit because it doesn't take skill points to use her when she transforms. Like she's still a great unit, and you can definitely clear content with her. I just kind of find her lacking in some way compared to other DPSs, and I think looking at a lot of the DPSs that we currently have in the meta, she just kind of falls short. So for that, I want to put her, probably like S tier. I'll probably say like S tier. Maybe like somewhere down here, honestly. The next character I actually do want to talk about is maybe Dan Heng. Dan Heng is also a great character, and he definitely used to be insane. Like him and Jingliu used to run the DPS meta, and when Sparkle came out, he got even more used because she offered more skill points to be consumed. But I think when you're looking at the diminishing returns of how many skill points that you are using for the amount of damage that he is pumping out, I still don't think it's worth it. And he seems like he can hold up in Memory of Chaos, but in other content such as maybe Apocalypse or Pure Fiction, I just don't really think he's as good as the DPSs that we have in double S. So and that's also another thing. I'm really excited to show the characters that do, I think, deserve to be in double S tier, because like these are characters that define the meta, that have stayed consistent, has stayed really well, that have a very strong unique ability, and they just haven't aged poorly. So but yeah, Dan Heng, him and Jingliu, I just feel like haven't aged the best. And that's granted because they're both damage dealers. It's very easy to replace a damage dealer, but it's really hard to replace a support or like a tank. But yeah, moving up, Silverwolf. So I'm a huge advocate for this character. This is a character that can make any team flexible. This is a character that can make Mono Quantum really good. This is a character that can kind of fill in the blank for a lot of teams where maybe you go into Memory of Chaos or you go into Pure Fiction and the enemy doesn't have the weakness type that you need. You know, she alleviates a little bit of that stress. Silverwolf, I would say, is phenomenal for single boss type enemies where you're fighting one person, like in Simulated Universe or maybe in like Memory of Chaos 12 or even in like just bosses. Like she'll shred a boss, she'll lower all their stats, and she could be a great debuffer for single target enemies. AoE enemies, not necessarily that good. You know, she still has a massive defense shred. I do like her weakness implant. She's skill point positive, and you know, besides lowering defense, she lowers attack, she lowers speed, and she lowers enemies resistance as well too to a certain element, and gives them all type resistance decrease as well too. Like she is a good debuffer, but she does deserve to go down to S tier, you know, in my opinion. I think any person who has her on their account will obviously benefit from her. She is a phenomenal unit, but definitely not the strongest debuffer that we have in the game, and definitely not a character that you necessarily need, especially with the introduction to DPS characters who can reduce toughness regarding whatever type the enemy is, and also the introduction of characters who can implant their own weakness type on enemies. So for that, yeah, I would probably put her in S tier. Moving on, Bronya. So I love Bronya as a character. She's simple, straightforward, very easy character to use and benefit from. You have a character that can dispel debuffs, that can increase attack, that can advance action by 100%. She can buff crit damage, you know. One of her abilities in her talent tree, you know, she can increase defense by like 10%. But with the introduction to Sparkle, and now the introduction to Sunday, and also with some of the other support characters that we have in the game, Bronya, it is very hard to justify her being in double S tier. I will say though, she still is a great hyper carry support, and honestly, just because you have Sparkle or just because you have Sunday, you can still run double hyper carry support. You know, you can still run her. But she is definitely in a position where she is not in double S tier anymore, so I will also be dropping her down to S tier. And moving on to Sparkle. Oh god. Okay. So I really like Sunday's kit. You have a character that buffs an ally, buffs their summon, and advances that character and their summon by 100%. And for anyone who doesn't know, Sunday not only advances a character like Jing Yuan, but also advances Lightning Lord's action by 100%. This also includes Nami. This also includes, I think, Ho-Ho's heals, and I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, not Ho-Ho. Lingsha. Lingsha's like little summon rabbits that she has. So yeah, this is kind of hard to say, but Sparkle is kind of power crept, just like Bronya. And it really sucks too, because like Sparkle is such a cool character, you know. But Sunday just does her job and Bronya's job a lot better. And I think that's what kind of hurts, you know, like even if you're using a character that doesn't have like a summon to like advance, Sunday, his kit just seems more cohesive and bloated than a character like Sparkle or Bronya, because something that Bronya and Sparkle both have in common is like, yeah, they buff overall damage, but they're mostly crit damage. You know, it's mostly like a crit damage support. I feel like Sunday has more utilities within his kit and more buffs in his kit that make him more versatile. So like, you know, even if you don't have Sparkle, or even if you're not running like a hyper carry DPS, you can kind of run Sunday on a multitude of other teams with like other characters, you know, whether it's a hyper carry like Sealy, or whether it's like a character like Jing Yuan, or even if you wanted to just run Sunday on maybe like a break team and you wanted Lingsha and her summons and her little rabbits to you know, excel into the turn faster. It's like Sunday, I think, is, I think he's going to be really strong. I think he's going to be very, very potent, and I think he's going to have a lot of longevity. So for that, I kind of want to move Sparkle also down, but I'm going to put her above Bronya because Sparkle definitely is either a side grade or an upgrade to Bronya without a doubt. Okay, now the last person I want to remove out of double S tier, unfortunately, is Luocha. So the best way I can say this, right? Luocha is a great healer, but that's all he can do. All he can do is heal. He doesn't offer any type of damage reduction. He doesn't offer any type of maybe endurance to a unit to keep them alive. He doesn't necessarily offer attack increases unless you have Eidolons. He doesn't offer defense increases, or he doesn't offer speed unless you're running Messenger. He's a very stick and stones healing type character, you know. And granted, he can cleanse debuffs and he can also remove buffs off of enemies, but he just doesn't have anything else in his kit that I would necessarily say sets him apart from a support character like Huohuo. I just wouldn't say there's anything else in his kit that really sets him apart or makes him better than Huohuo, Aventurine, or Fushuan, if I'm being honest. So because of that, yeah, I think all four of these characters, unfortunately, will drop to S tier. Moving on, I think Kafka and Black Swan are still very strong. I think they are very potent still. I think they still have really good damage, and you know, right now it doesn't seem like that because we haven't gotten any other 5-star Nihility support to really kind of help them specifically with their dot damage. But I do think this is still a really strong pairing, and I think Ron May does a really good job supporting them. And I'm still able to clear Memory of Chaos 11 and 12 with them, so I can't say I have a problem with them being in S tier still. So I would probably just keep them here. Sealy, man, I love Sealy as a character, man. You know, I like her in Honkai Impact. I like her in this game. She's a great character, you know, story, gameplay, and everything, but she is unfortunately showing a lot of age. It's really hard to proc her resurgence because it's really hard to kill enemies, you know, in like one turn, or to, you know, kill even like minions or mobs very easily, because some of them are either super tanky, or they cause outrage, or they maybe put your character to sleep, or, you know, it's just getting her resurgence can be difficult sometimes, you know. And then when you have content like Pure Fiction, she's not necessarily that good in pure fiction. Like, I've managed to barely squeeze by with her at times, but yeah, just not necessarily that great of a character in certain content, and her unique and her passives can be hard to proc. But you know, when it comes to single target enemies, like when it comes to just like single bosses that you're fighting, yeah, she could do great. But we just have a lot of diverse content now, so Sealy is just lacking in a lot of stuff. So for that, I'm gonna put her in A tier. Dr. Ratio and Topaz. So I feel like I have to put both of them together. So Dr. Ratio, free 5-star, free limited 5-star, great character. You know, he gives good debuffs, he has great follow-up attacks, very, very consistent character with Topaz. But standalone, he's all right. I feel like Dr. Ratio gets a lot of his leverage, or a lot of his uses, out of how good the other follow-up characters on his team are. And when you have Topaz, he does phenomenal. But with Topaz is good with or without him. And then when you have characters like Fei Xiao that just came out, Topaz gets even better. So because of that, I'm actually going to drop Dr. Ratio as well to A tier with Sealy. You know, I think he's a great character. I would actually put him above Sealy. Great character, strong character, definitely. You know, we have a lot of follow-up supports, but as a standalone unit himself, I would probably say he's either as good as Sealy, or just maybe slightly better. Topaz, I think, has kept all of her you know, value. Like, she supplies debuffs, she has Nummy as well in the turn, she does her own good damage, you know, she can offer some support capabilities. And honestly, her and Fei Xiao, it's so good. It's so easy. Like the team comp is very cohesive, you know, because you'll have Facial go, and then she'll go again, and then you have Topaz go, and then Facial will go again, and then Numi will go, and it's like it's such a great combo. So I honestly can't see Topaz being any lower than S tier. Honestly, I would probably say she shot up to top of S tier just because of how strong her kit is with a lot of the recent characters and supports that we've gotten in the game, and also as a standalone unit, she just feels really good to play. So that would probably be my opinion. Oh, Gepard. Okay, so this is probably like one of my favorite support units in the game. Like his ultimate is sick, his voice lines are sick, he's a great character, but this dude has showed so much age, you know, as the enemies get stronger, you know, as Memory of Chaos gets harder and Pure Fiction also gets harder. It's very hard to have that shield, you know, with 100% uptime, and you know, he just doesn't have anything else in his kit to offer except that shield. And I mean, granted, he does have a self revive and he revives with an ultimate, but I just I can't say that he's as good as Luocha anymore, or you know, Huohuo or Aventurine or Fushua. Like he's a solid support. He's a solid support. I don't think he's A tier. I think he's like bottom of S tier, realistically, because I find myself in moments playing Memory of Chaos or Pure Fiction or Apocalypse, and I find myself using Gallagher over Gepard at times. You know, Gallagher is like really great, even, and especially if you have Eidolons. If you have Eidolons on Gallagher, he's phenomenal. You know, and even characters like Lynx. You know, I think Lynx is also a great character. So I just feel like Gepard, he's not terrible. You know, you can still use him, but definitely showed a lot of age. So for that, I'm gonna just drop him to like the bottom of S tier. Argenti and Blade. Oh god. So this is so hard. I like Blade. I don't really care much for Argenti, but with the recent supports that we've gotten, and then also with some of the team comps that you can make, I don't think Blade or Argenti are bad characters. And honestly, I would probably say Argenti is better than Blade. I would honestly say Argenti is probably better than Jingliu as well too. I mean, they're consistent. They can get the job done. No issues in their damage really, in my opinion. I don't necessarily have a problem with them staying in S tier. I just don't think they're as good as like Black Swan and Kafka combo, or even like Topaz. So I'll probably say that. I mean, I don't have a problem with keeping them in S tier though. Okay, moving on to Jing Yuan. Oh man, this guy gets buffed every single patch. I don't know what it is. Like he gets buffed every single patch. And between relics and support characters, this character is just he just keeps getting buffed. And with Sunday, I'm telling you right now, if you are a Jing Yuan main, if you like this character, you will be summoning for Sunday. And with that, the fact that Sunday not only advances his actions, but Lightning Lord's actions, this is a character that immediately shoots up to S tier, top of S tier with Topaz. Without a doubt, the support capabilities that are offered to Jing Yuan with Sunday is actually insane. Like Sunday single-handedly fixes all of Jing Yuan's problems. You know, I said this in previous tier lists. The fact that you max out stacks on Jing Yuan and he doesn't get like immediate action with his Lightning Lord, the fact that you don't get any type of like crazy damage buff, and you have to also still get a crazy amount of energy for him because his ultimate is very expensive. Sunday fixes all of those problems. So because of that, but between him being very versatile, having a bunch of flexible supports, between the new relics in the game, between the new planar sets, and then also Sunday coming as well too. And keep in mind, you can run Sunday and then you can run another support. You can run dual hyper carry supports for Jing Yuan. This is a character that goes to double S tier, in my opinion, without a doubt. Like him and Topaz are just they are aging very, very well. And the only reason why I wouldn't put Jing Yuan in double S tier is because for as good as a character that he is a character that relies on Sunday. So if anything, it speaks on Sunday's gameplay and Sunday's kit and who Sunday is as a character more than Jing Yuan and what he's offering right now, but still a very great character. We'll definitely see a lot more use when Sunday comes out. And I can honestly only see this character being way stronger than what he currently is now, even after getting the support that he got. Clara. God, I don't even know where to start with this character. Clara, I think, aged pretty well. Currently for me, I have her idol on 4. This character, I mean, she heals herself with her light cone. She is able to, do a bit of damage. She has AoE counters, and she's not a bad character, and I think for the most part, if we're talking about characters in their base 0 Eidolon form, she's not terrible, but definitely not as good as Blade, Jingliu, Argenti, none of these characters in S tier. She's more of like a flex pick in my opinion than like a main DPS, unless you are strictly building her as a main DPS. But I mean, no, she's not terrible, and I would probably, if anything, drop her to A tier. And the reason why I'm dropping her to A tier is because Yoon Lee is a direct upgrade from her. Like, Yoon Lee kind of has every single possible like upgrade you can want for Clara. So just for that, I'll put her in A tier. Definitely not a bad unit. I've done Pure Fiction with her, and she's fine. Moving on. Oh god, Bailu. Bailu is A tier. Bailu is without a doubt A tier. I mean, she has a nice revive for an ally, but you have a heal that splashes randomly between allies that you don't have control over, and Luocha, at least he can cleanse debuffs and cleanse buffs off of enemies. She has none of that. She has no energy regen, no attack increase, no debuff cleanse, no buff cleanses off enemies. She has literally nothing except healing. That's it. Like I said, Luocha is only good at healing. She only does healing. And like even then, her heal off of her skill is RNG. So no, actually, probably put her like, probably like bottom of A tier. Like I just don't like Bailu. Sorry. So these next row of characters, Lynx, Pela, Tingyun, I feel like all these characters consistently do a really good job. Lynx will increase aggro for tanks, has a good heal over time, dispels debuffs off allies. I mean, she doesn't have like a attack increase or anything, but very respectable healer, very great healer. Honestly, I think her and Gallagher are really solid together. I would put Gallagher. Actually, I'll probably put Gallagher somewhere up here. He's just so good, man. Like, even if you're not running a break team, he's just such a great healer, and he just does a good job. I really like his kit, and he stands out to me as a character, as a support. But Lynx is also a great character. I would probably keep her in S tier. You're gonna get your heals off, you're gonna have your team up. Definitely no issues with her as a healer. Same thing for Pela. I think Pela is a great character. I think her AoE defense shred is also super good, and in some instances I would say it's actually better to run Pela than Silverwolf in certain team comps. Like I can definitely see people running Pela over Silverwolf with Acheron, depending on the content that you're doing. So because of that, I would probably say Pela is a good investment, and I would also put her a little bit higher on S tier because, she has so much value as a support character or as a debuffer, compared to just offering raw damage like these characters down here, like Danheng, Argenti, Blade, or Jingliu. And that also includes Tingyun. Tingyun, she offers a 3-turn attack buff, regenerates energy for allies, and depending on the light cone that you use on her, she can advance action as well too, like with Dance. Like she's a really solid character, and I'm really looking forward to her 5-star version. So because of that, I would say Tingyun is still like bottom of S tier, maybe top of A tier. She's just still a really good support character, and you do no harm to your team running her. Like even if you were to not have Bronya or Sparkle, or if you didn't have like Robin, like she's a great character, and when you have that type of flexibility to run multiple supports on a team, she's a great character. So I would probably keep her in S tier. Now, as if for A tier, I don't really have any changes I would necessarily make to anyone here in A tier, except I would probably move Yexing down a little bit more because he's just, he's just garbage. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would probably also move maybe Hanya up, and and maybe Yukong up as well too, because I just feel like supports and debuffers have a little bit more value over DPSs, especially DPSs that aren't self-sufficient. So I mean, that would be it. Now I know I have Herta in B tier, and I know I have Himiko in A tier. Standalone as a unit, standalone as a unit, just the unit themselves, just their kit, I think Himiko is an A tier unit, just the average unit. Same thing for Herta. I think Herta is just a average, below average unit. Specifically, if we're talking about pure fiction, they are both double S tier, 110%. If we are strictly talking pure fiction, they are both double S tier. You know, and like when you have characters that can inflict fire weakness, like Firefly, you know, you can do a mono fire team and Himiko will do extremely well, you know. And Herta is also super good in pure fiction as well too, and you know, I'm really excited for the 5-star Herta to come out. But standalone unit wise, just by themselves, bare bones, Herta and Himiko I think are just perfectly fine in A tier and B tier. And then that should be it. These are kind of the characters that I feel like should sit in each tier. Now, before we add these characters, I do want to talk about double S tier. Fushuan and Aventurine are insane. You know, even with Aventurine coming out, you still need 2 supports. You know, you still need a second tank for your other team in Memory of Chaos. And between his crit damage buffs that he gives the team, or you know, his crit damage vulnerability that he gives enemies, between the stackable shield that he offers and the follow-up attacks, he's a great support. Fushuan still tanks everything, mitigates everything, still buffs your team's HP, still buffs their crit rate, still heals herself, and she is still a great unit. Honestly, these 2 are the best characters in the game. If like, you can definitely make an argument for other characters, but I'm telling you, in my personal opinion, in my experiences with both of these characters, I don't think there is a single unit in this game that is more important than these 2. These 2 will literally get you through any bit of content, whether it is Memory of Chaos, whether it's pure fiction, whether it is Apocalypse, whether it's simulated universe, whether it's the story. These 2 are so incredibly good, and it's not just his shield that makes him good, and it's not just her mitigation that makes her good. He offers plenty of debuffs, plenty of damage, plenty of buffs. She offers HP, she offers crit rate, she can heal your team. If you have her light cone, she can heal the whole team when a new wave of enemies come in. She can heal herself, and it's just, they're both phenomenal. They're both phenomenal, and I really genuinely don't think either one of these 2 will ever age. You know, I think the only way that you can honestly get a character like Fushuan to age is if you introduced an enemy that can remove her mitigation buff off of allies or herself. And the only way I think you could really make Aventurine worthless is if you introduce an enemy that penetrates through shield and ignores the shield to deal direct health damage. And that's the only way, that's the only possible way I can possibly, like, you can think of getting rid of these 2. You know, I could be wrong, but these 2 are the pinnacle of a well-designed kit, in my opinion. You know, so you guys may have another character you would put as the best in the game, but these 2 are easily possibly my favorite, without a doubt. Acheron, I mean, there's not really much to say about her. You know, she's a character that gets her ultimate based off of debuffs. She's a character that hits hard with her skill. She hits like an absolute truck with her ultimate. She reduces enemies all type resistance. She reduces toughness as well too, regardless of their typing. She's just a Nihility hyper carry, you know, and as we get more Nihility characters in the game, she will continue to get better because the debuffs will only get stronger. So I don't necessarily see an issue with Acheron, and I will say this right now: if you have Acheron at E2 and you only need 1 debuffer on your team, she's probably the best DPS in the game. If you have Acheron at E2 with her signature icon, she's the best DPS in the game, in my opinion. You know, like Firefly and Fei Xiao definitely compete with her, but she's just such a great character where, you know, as we get more debuffers and as those debuffs get stronger, she's just not going to age, in my opinion. So, and she's good. You know, she's good for all the hard content in the game. She's fun to use. Her technique is also really useful in simulated universe. She's just a overall great character, well-designed kit. Moving on. I'll try to make this quick between these two right here. So Ranmei, I mean, she just offers way too many buffs, buffs speed, buffs overall damage, buffs weakness break efficiency, buffs break effect. She's good with Firefly, she's good with dot damage, she's even good with regular hyper carries if you wanted to pair her with like Sparkle or Bronya or even like Sunday. Like she's a great support and she does her job well, and nothing I could really say about that. Huohuo buffs attack, has energy regen, has a great phenomenal AoE heal. It's just strong character, just really well character. Like these 5 characters I think definitely deserve their spot in double S tier without a doubt. Okay, so moving on to the new characters that I missed out on, that I summoned for, or that I just didn't really discuss or upload a video for. So there's a lot. There's a lot, and I know I'm probably not gonna get the same opinions, and I feel like there's gonna be some disagreement. So I guess we'll start off with Robin. Robin, I think, is double S. I think Robin does a better job supporting than Bronya and Sparkle. I think she's just as good as Ranmei. Her kit is very simple. It's very straightforward, but she buffs overall damage, and then she can also increase attack and follow-up damage. She advances the whole team's action, and I think that's really important, because when you have characters like Fei Xiao and Topaz, and then also Aventurine, who utilize a lot of follow-up attacks, and then even characters like Mose as well too, she's just such a phenomenal character. And even if you're just using her for her advanced action, it is such a powerful mechanic when you can deny the enemy and multiple enemies their turn by just popping her ultimate and then advancing your whole team's action. Like that can be the difference between a 20 turn Memory of Chaos and then like a 19 turn Memory of Chaos. Like it's very important how clutch her ultimate is, and when you have follow-up characters on your team, she's gonna get that ultimate quicker, and then the additional damage that she provides with her ultimate, she's a great character. And currently we have a lot of follow-up characters. We have a lot of great units in the game, DPS characters that can utilize it. And I use Robin from time to time with Acheron. Like I'll do Silver Wolf, Acheron, and Robin, and it works really well. So I think Robin deserves her spot in double S tier. I think she's just as good as Ranmei, and I think that would probably be where I would put her. I would say honestly, Robin and Ranmei could be a little bit higher than Acheron, mostly because I just see more value in a tank or a support than I do a DPS. That doesn't mean Acheron is bad, but this is like, there's just so much more value in your support characters than your DPS characters. Moving on, we have Boot Hill, and actually we'll do both of them together. So actually we'll do Boot Hill and we'll do Firefly together. So I think Boot Hill right now is pretty solid. I think he's a great DPS. I think he works really well with characters like Ranmei, and also I think he does really well with characters like Robin or Sparkle or Bronya, where they can advance his action so he can keep on getting that high damage break effect damage off. I think he's a good character. By no means do I think he's better than Acheron, so because of that I will put him in like S tier, just because he doesn't really do well in pure fiction. He's single target. He does need a bit of support, and if he's not breaking the enemy's toughness, he's kind of weak. So actually I would probably put him like here if I'm being honest. So, or we'll say like here, great DPS, strong character, cohesive kit, just not the pinnacle of damage, or not the ideal damage dealer that I had in mind. Firefly, on the other hand, oh wow, I don't even know where to really begin with this character. So I think Firefly is double S tier. you have a character that can regenerate a shit ton of energy for herself. She can implant a fire weakness for the whole team, and that's going to make characters like Himiko or Lingsha do a lot of damage. She can reduce enemies' toughness regardless of their type. She has Super Break built into her kit. She advances her speed by like 50-60 points. You know, she's going to have over 200 speed when she's transformed in her ultimate. She is a very, very strong character. You know, when you have a character that is pumping out 400-500k super break damage with her skill, she is incredibly strong. She is a very strong character. And granted, her strength lies with her allies. You know, so if you're running the imaginary MC, or if you're running Ron May, or if you're running Lingsha or even Gallagher with her, obviously they're going to make her better. But she is a character that just hits so incredibly hard. You know, it's like her team comp is very, very specific. It's very, very niche. It banks off a super break, but she does that niche so well. She does it so well. She hits super hard. And honestly, as long as you have a very well built, or not even very well built, as long as you have a decently well built Firefly, you should be able to clear all the content in the game with no issues. And you know, if you have Ron May and the imaginary MC leveled up, they're just as good. And I think her accessibility to these supports, you know, it's like imaginary Trailblazer is free, you'll get her, and everyone in their box should have Ron May. And then with the introduction of Lingsha, and then even the next character, 5-star Ting Yun, Fugue, she only gets better. And because of that, I just feel like she deserves to stay in double S tier, or to be in double S tier. She's just a fun character to use, a great character to use, and I would say her damage is definitely on par with Acheron, and these two, they have a great kit. Oh god, Jade. Okay, so Jade, I am not a fan of. I don't like her kit. I don't really like her in the story. I'm not necessarily a fan of how she operates with other characters in the game. You know, like she works pretty well with certain other characters. Like she can work well with characters, for example, like Blade, or she can work well in like pure fiction with like Herta. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that kind of just seems like all she's really good at. It only seems like she's good in pure fiction, like she was made for pure fiction. I don't really like her kit, and I don't really like her as a character, and she just seems like, yeah, she's niche just like Firefly, but like Firefly, her niche could be used in like every single other bit of content in the game. Jade just doesn't really click with me, if I'm being honest. So, you know, I could be wrong. You know, there's probably a lot of people that summon for Jade that use her for like everything with like another DPS, but for me personally, I'm gonna put her at top of A tier. I just don't like her character. I think she's really boring. Okay, so oh god, I forgot how to pronounce his name. Jiao Shou. Firefly Nihility, or Fire Nihility. This guy has one job, and his job, exactly, I will tell you, is to buff Acheron. That's his job. That's literally his only job. His only job is to buff Acheron's ultimate, and then to get her her ultimate stacks quicker, so you can keep popping her ultimate. That's all this man is good for. You know, he shows up, he applies a couple debuffs to make her ultimate stronger, and then he has AoE debuffs so that she gets her ultimate faster. That's his only job. That's like, he is known just to be her partner. Not a bad unit, very niche unit, and whether you have Jiao Shou or not, Acheron is still good. You know, Acheron is still a great unit whether you have him or not. This guy is only a great unit if you're using him alongside Acheron, in my opinion. So, niche character, not necessarily crazy good, not necessarily crazy bad either, but he's just all right, you know. And there's other characters that can benefit from said ultimate damage buff, but let's be honest, right? You're gonna use this guy with Acheron, you know, because you're not gonna use him with Firefly, you're not gonna use him with Fei Xiao. I guess you could use him with Argenti, but like realistically, no. Or even Jingli, but like no. You're probably gonna use this guy with Acheron. And hey, yo, where did he go? Oh, right here. but no, I think he's a really niche character, and because of that, I am going to put him in A tier, in A tier, you know. And listen, before you guys kill me, before you guys are like, no, you're not using him right. Listen, maybe I'm not, but for me currently right now, I don't necessarily see a use for him outside of being Acheron support. That's it. So, you know, and maybe it's different for me because my Acheron has her best in slot and she's E2, so maybe that's why I don't see the damage increase as much as I do, or as much as I should. But yeah, like I don't care much for him. Okay, so moving on, we have March 7th and her imaginary path, and oh man, it's really hard to rank this character. So I built her up, I used her with Fei Xiao, used her with Topaz, used her by herself with a bit of support. You know, I tried running her on a couple of different team comps, and she definitely feels good to use. And I definitely think she is an upgrade from Preservation March 7th. I would honestly just put her in the same tier as like S tier with like Ting Yun, Lynx, and you know, just like Gabar. She's a great character, decent damage, great follow-up attack. You know, definitely holds her own, and she has really easy eidolons to get, so I think her flexibility and accessibility is also really high. But depending on how these next couple updates go, I probably would put her in the same tier as the Preservation one. So just that. Moving on, so this, oh god, I don't want this video to be too long, but Yoon Lee. So Yoon Lee kind of has everything that Clara needs. Just a Clara upgrade. You know, she's good for pure fiction. She's fun to use. I don't necessarily think she is insane, but good character. Definitely an upgrade to Clara. Put her in S tier. And then Fei Xiao. This is such an amazing character. This is unironically like the most amazing character that they've ever produced. Like I know I said Fushuan and Aventurine are amazing. She's phenomenal. This is probably the big three of DPS. Like unironically, this is definitely like the Naruto, Bleach, One Piece of Honkai Star Rail. Like Acheron, Firefly, and Fei Xiao they're the big three, you know. All three of these units have phenomenal support. They are very easy to build. They have great team comps. You know, they have access to a lot of different supports, good relics. They hit like a truck, and they're just phenomenal. Like, you know, you have your break damage right here, you have your nihility hyper carry here, and then you have your follow-up damage right here. And you know, two of these characters don't rely on energy to get their ultimate. You know, she gets her ultimate based off of debuff, she gets her ultimate based off of her attack and her team's attack, and she can get two ultimates. And all three of them reduce enemies' toughness regardless of their type. They all implant some type of debuff on those enemies, and you know, they just great characters. Like unironically, like, these are three characters that I wholeheartedly love, and I think they're great. So I would probably put them in double S tier. Also, why is Bronya here? Bronya, if you don't go back down, I don't know what was up with that. I was like, why is she there? But Moze is a great alternative if you don't have Topaz, especially with Eidolons. He can actually be seen as a little bit better if you don't have Topaz's signature light cone. I would say he's actually probably, oh god, I would say he's probably S tier. Yeah, I think for me, if even without Eidolons, I think he's a great character. I think he's a good pick. And you know, you can run Moze and Topaz together. You can do Moze and Fei Xiao together. Like he's a great character. He's easy to build, very consistent, and I see him having more use on a team comp than any of these characters, I'll be honest. So that's probably what I would say about that. Rappa. So, oh god, unfortunately Rappa had the fault of being right before a rerun of Aventurine and Acheron, and she also had the fault of unfortunately being the update before Fugue and Sunday, and she just kind of got shafted like crazy. But I will say she is a very strong character. I think her kit is really simple, but she still has a really strong ultimate. She has great supports to help her, and she can definitely clear Memory of Chaos 11 and 12 with ease. Like, she's a very good character. I do, however, think I don't think I would put her in the same tier as any of these big three, but phenomenal character, great character, just very bad banner timing. And I think for the most part, like, there's just something about her kit that's missing, in my opinion, that makes her, or that holds her back from double S tier. But, you know, great character. You're definitely going to be able to clear a lot of the hard content in this game with her. Super strong, very easy to build. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And then the final character that we are going to be touching in this tier list video is Lingsha. So I'm not going to add Foog or Sunday yet, even though we know what their kit is. I just kind of want to wait till they come out and we get gameplay of them and first-hand experience with them before we actually add them to the tier list. But Lingsha, I mean, there's not really much to say about her. She is great break support, does really respectable break damage as well too. She is going to see a buff because of Sunday, because Sunday is going to buff her action and her summons actions. She does a great job healing. She works super well with Firefly, who's one of the best DPSs in the game, and she just overall she does her job well. Yeah, 110%. She does her job really well, and I would probably just say she's S tier. You know, I would say she's an S tier character, very great character, and you know, she offers very strong bruiser damage, and she can heal, and her summons are going to do great with Sunday. So that would probably be where I would place her. And here we have it. I know this video was super long. We are at, you know, a little bit over 50 minutes of recording this, but I want to say to everyone, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming to my channel and stopping by. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video and, you know, go through this tier list. And once again, at the end of the day, this is my opinions. This is my experience with certain characters, and overall, just kind of how I feel about them currently in the meta and in the current update that we're in. And, you know, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay if you guys don't agree with me. You know, if you guys have your own opinions, or if you guys have your own experience or something that you want to share with me, I would love to read it in the comments section, to let you guys, to just, you know, hear how you guys feel about some of these characters. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. Let me know in the comment section what would you guys like to see next. Let me know who you guys are also summoning for in 2.7, if you're going for Sunday or if you're going for 5-star Ting Yun. And yeah, you know, it's good to be back on YouTube. I'm gonna try to upload a little bit more. I'm gonna try to get a couple videos out for you guys, and try to be a little bit more consistent. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace.